are joined by the new Women's French Open champion, the incredible Coco Gauff, earning her second Grand Slam title at the age of 21, becoming the first American in a decade to claim this championship. Please welcome here to our Times Square studio, Coco Gauff, ladies and gentlemen. And the crowd goes wild. I told you this is a perfect bookend because this is our last week in the studio. And our first week, we had Serena after her first victory at the U.S. Open, and we have you here now, Coco. Have you been able to allow it to sink in a bit?
Not really. I've been on the go since everything happened after match point, but definitely I'm going to take it in over the next couple of weeks for sure.
I'm glad that you will. And I loved how your dad, because you had a little red clay on you, and your dad made sure you had that off of you before you went down for the trophy presentation. But a lot of us were watching, and to see the first set, you're down 1-4, you lose it in a tie break, storm back to win the next two like that. It was reminiscent of your final against Sabalenka at the U.S. Open a couple of years ago, where you had to come from behind again. Just tell us your mindset and how you're able to fight back time and time again.
Yeah, so in that first set, when I was down 4-1, I was just like, let me just try to make it as competitive. And, you know, I honestly didn't expect to be in the position to even try to win that set, but I was just like, I got to make it as competitive as possible. And actually earlier in that week in my quarterfinal match against Madison, I was down 4-1 double break as well, and I was able to bring it back. So I had thought about that match. But after I lost that tiebreaker, I was so disappointed, but I knew I had to reset and just try my best to give the best possible chance for me to go out there and win that match.
Yeah, I heard you said that your dad said before the match, he was talking to you and said, just give yourself an opportunity. Just keep giving yourself an opportunity. Your mom said the same thing. Don't have to tell you, there was a lot of criticism. Your opponent, Sabalenka, her comments right after the match, pretty much saying it was because she played poorly instead of praising your play, because you're both playing in windy conditions. You're both facing that. And you've played her several times, and she did walk it back a bit the next day and did give you credit and said you played with a lot of purpose and poise. You've played her several times. Just what was your take on the comments that she made?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know she was probably a bit emotional after that match, and it was a tough loss. But honestly, when I stepped on the court, I was aware of the win. We both practiced with the roof closed, so I honestly wanted the roof to be closed before the match because my quarterfinal in semi was closed, and I thought I was playing good tennis. But when I found out it was open, I saw how windy it was on the court. I knew that it was going to be an ugly win. And yeah, whenever you play in windy conditions, if you play tennis, you know it's not going to be a perfect day on a windy court. So I knew that going in. And yeah, I mean, after that, I was a little bit surprised, but about the comments and everything. But like, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure it was just an emotional day, emotional match. And yeah, every time I play Irina, she's a fighter. She's a tough opponent. I think we're like 6-5 on the head-to-head, so it's very close. But yeah, I think, you know, I had to force her to play that way and make a lot of balls and put those balls in the court. So yeah.
Oh, well, very proud of how you handled it with such grace. And I follow you on Instagram like many do, and you're so uplifting. And there was something that you said, I learned having doubt into your head is impossible to escape, but not impossible to overcome. And those pictures that you put up, like you manifested. Does this talk about your mental state and how that helped you so much?
Yeah, honestly, the first like dream thing I had, I never dreamt about winning a tournament before in my life, and I still haven't, and that was the only time I had a dream about winning one. And so I just always thought that this tournament like just had to happen. I thought this would be my first Grand Slam after having that dream. And then with the visualization, I saw Gabby Thomas write it before she won the Olympics, and I was like, I was a ball of nerves the night before, and I was just desperate. And I was like, I'm gonna just try everything I can do. So I wrote it down and instilled it in my head. It was one of the last things I said to myself before I went on the court. I looked in the mirror, and even after that first set, I said, I will be French Open champion. I will do this. I can do this. And just instilling it, you kind of have to psych yourself out.
And weren't you even saying your own name? Because the French crowd, they were saying Sabalenka's name, and I could see you mouthing like you were saying your own name.
Yeah, I was just saying my name, especially in that semifinal match against Luis. I was playing a French opponent too, so I was just saying my name. And actually, when in Rome, I played Jasmine Paolini, and she's Italian, playing an Italian crowd, and I felt like I didn't handle that well. So it's crazy how those hard losses, I needed those losses to have the experience and be able to overcome what happened this week.
Yeah, because you even posted that on your Instagram.
Yes.
The loss for a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And then the win. And you said, I needed that defeat.
Yes.
I needed that defeat. So how important was that to you? I mean, what did you learn from that defeat?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I went in that match believing that I couldn't do it, and also I felt like I was playing the #1 player in the world at the time, Iga, again, and so I just felt like I just couldn't do it, and I kind of played like that. And so this match, I was like, I have to be able to do it. Obviously, Irina was the favorite to win that, but I was just like, I can't count myself out. I'm #2 for a reason. I can do well, and yeah, I just learned it. And I remember watching the trophy ceremony with Iga, taking in all the emotions, allowing myself to feel that disappointment, and just trying to use it as motivation.
Yeah, because when I first met you down in Delray, that Coco Gauff, she really had no fear.
No fear.
I know, and you even talked about that self.
Yes.
About like you had to even talk to your younger self and said you didn't have that. You have such great support. I know you saw your grandmother.
Yes.
All these videos were going crazy, and the way
Yes.
that the ball kids they hugged you, but
Yeah.
the support that you have had from day one, from the Delray community. I love those ball boys.
Yeah,
and ball
they're the
girls.
best.
They were so happy.
Yes.
And again, your mom and your dad have been there from day one, and they're here in the studio with us. With your brother, who just had a recent birthday.
Yes.
I can't believe how much he's grown.
Yeah.
Just talk about the support. Talk about what that has meant to you.
The support that I have is amazing, and especially my parents, for them to sacrifice so much and come on the road, and my brothers sacrificing time with their parents, because they be there for me in those big moments, and being so understanding means the world, and I truly can't do it without them. Tennis is a lonely sport at times, spending weeks in different countries. Sometimes you don't wake up and know where you are, but every night we're playing a card game, Crowns, and we play 8 games, and my dad lost every single game. Yeah, and it's a game of luck too, so I didn't know how that happened, but every time I won, I felt like, okay, if I won the card games, maybe I'll win my match tomorrow. But just having that support, and my brothers are the reason why I do it, and Cody always reminds me of the belief, and kind of having that cockiness a little bit to you, and Cameron always reminds me to just be joyful in the things I do. So I truly learn a lot from everyone around me.
Are you going to be able to take some time? You know, the next Grand Slam is just a few weeks away, but are you going to take some time?
For sure. I think the main piece of advice everyone's told me is to take it in and soak it in, and then when it's time to get back to work. But I'm always looking ahead, so I am ready to get back and start training for Wimbledon and try to pull that off. But yeah, for now, I'm definitely trying to soak it in.
And soak in that little. Is that really the little trophy?
Yeah, it is. It is a small little replica we get to take home. But I said that on my TikTok, I said the memories are what matter the most.
That's right. You can fill that up with a lot of memories.
Yes.
Thank you for being here, especially
Thanks
in our
for
final
having
week.
me.
It's just a perfect way for us to say goodbye to Times Square.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks
You take
for having
care.
me.
Thank you, and thank your folks as well.